mechanics. And we want to be a one-stop shop for collectors, which is why we've added services like PSA grading and eBay consignment straight from brakes. We are a PSA authorized dealer and offer grading services from value to walkthrough. All you need to do is fill out the form on our website within 24 hours of a brake completing, and we will take care of the rest. All submissions for brakes come with a review and wipe down of your card, and you won't be charged anything until we get your card back from PSA. eBay consignment is a similar process where you will need to fill out a form on our site within 24 hours of a brake completing for any cards you'd like to submit. All cards will be listed next business day for a 5-day auction starting at 99 cents. And after the sale, you'll have the option to be paid out via check, PayPal goods, or brake credit. The links for these services will be in the description of every brake. If you have any questions about how the app or how our brakes work, feel free to message us on your preferred social platform. Or jump in the chat of one of our brakes and the brake host can help walk you through it. Summer is here and Real Sports Cards is hitting the road on June 16th. I'm talking about the 2025 Real Sports Cards Summer Road Trip, where we'll be virtually road tripping across the country, with a few in-person stops mixed in, giving away something every single day of the road trip tied to the city that we happen to be in that day. All right here on the Real Sports Cards app. But that's just the beginning of the fun, because similar to our collector games last year, you'll be able to accumulate points every single break for a chance to win brake credit. The point totals for this will reset weekly, so no matter when you decide to join the fun, you'll always have a chance at the top spot that week. But there will still be a massive prize for the person that accumulates the most points during the duration of the road trip. The road trip begins June 16th on our way to Fanatics Fest in New York City, and will continue through September 7th when we make it back to Minneapolis in time for the grand opening of our new store. We'll have more info on all of this coming soon, which will be posted right here in the app. In the meantime, start grabbing your favorite road trip snacks, crafting that perfect playlist, and filling up on gas, because this is going to be a road trip to remember.
What's happening, guys? Happy Friday morning.
Good morning.
Back at you with another dual episode with two hosts this time.
You had the solo last
time.
week.
It was fun. I was able to just chat, and I think everyone enjoyed the experience way more, actually.
I'm sorry, guys. I really apologize for sticking with Emil all by himself.
No, we had a good time last week, but it's good to have you back.
I told you to have one of the other guys sit in last week, but apparently, when the boss is out, nobody shows up. There was no one here, right?
Everyone took off Friday morning for some reason.
Got it. Yep.
I get here, everything's locked up and it's empty. I was like, well, it looks like I'm going solo.
Going solo. No,
it was fun. What's up, Landhawk? What up, Zach?
Zach's in the house. Landhawk is in the house.
Casey's over on Facebook. Scotty on Facebook. Scotty just had a big sale.
Oh, that was monster, Scott. Wow, holy cow.
I forget what I had told Scotty. So Scott pulled out of the store, I believe, out of a tribute box, the 1-of-1 tribute Aaron Judge, like
Nike logo swoosh.
Yeah, it's like the shadow box type. And what did it sold on eBay, right?
Yeah,
someone popped it on eBay.
Yeah, we kind of looked it up and decided it was probably worth around $5,000.
That's what I said I could see it being in the $4,000 to $5,000 range with other Judge high-end sales, like some Dynasty sales and some other 1-of-1, museum 1-of-1 patch autos and stuff like that.
Yeah. But it's one of those where when you have a 1-of-1 Nike swoosh like that, you know that there are collectors that are just have to have that card.
100%.
So even if you think it's a $5,000 card, it's completely reasonable to throw it out on eBay with $9,999 or best offer.
Just see what happens.
And just see what happens. Field offers, see what people think. you know, you have the opportunity to accept some offers or turn down offers.
Yep.
We had a lot when we listed it for Scott on consignment.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of people reach out like right away when it got listed, like, hey, I want to buy this card. What's your best? You know, how everybody on eBay, instead of actually just sending an offer, what's your best?
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
Place an offer.
So brutal. Like, just make an offer, dude. And but most of those offers were like 3,000 or so.
You're probably in the range of what we, you know, would have.
Where it could have been,
Yeah.
but again, no hurry. So you just let it roll.
Yep.
And sure enough, this week, somebody popped the buy it now. Somebody popped the buy it now at the full $9,999.
It's a good return on a box of tribute,
So,
I think.
That's kind of a good hit.
Yeah, that was wild.
Kind of a good hit out of a tribute box.
Yeah, congrats again on that thing, Scotty. We have seen, speaking of big hits, we have seen a lot out of Series 2.
Series 2 has been really
I was
really
going
good.
through, I went through all the breaks from yesterday, and I've been taking pictures for us to post up on Instagram. Like, there's a lot of really, really good stuff.
Yep.
You know, from the short prints, I'm going to say it wrong, the placatas. Is that what it is? Placata.
No, it is black.
I said it right the first time.
You said it right the first
Yeah,
time.
why you started
Finally,
looking at me wrong?
finally, because I wanted to make you
Make me sweat a little bit.
Yeah. He's been saying placata wrong like
I told you. I said I'm
the
not.
whole time.
I'm Americanizing it.
Placata.
All the K zones. Titus had 2 backwards K zones
Ooh.
in his 6-caser yesterday afternoon. Darvish and Satchel Paige, which is sweet.
That's
a whole bunch of
nasty.
low numbered stuff. They even the relics this year have been way better. Like the amount of game used, like
Well,
you know,
they almost all say game used.
yeah, they have the actual game. Like here's a James Wood orange game used base relic dirty 14 to 25.
And
It
the-
has the date of the game and the score.
And the description on the back of the card says that while this was not in a specific game, it was used by this player,
Oh, interesting.
right? And so I don't recall like when they made that change
Right.
because I haven't really intentionally been looking for it. But when I noticed that they kind of upped their game on relics, I was like, ooh, are these game used?
Right.
A lot of times you see them up their game on relics
And it's all
and it's all player worn,
yeah.
right? And I noticed that they upped their game on relics, so I actually looked in and it says something like, you know, this item was worn in a game by a specific player, but not any specific game or
Got it.
so
Were the bases from that specific game?
I don't know. It still
I'll have to
had
check
that.
back.
It still had that
That
disclaimer
verbiage on it?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. A whole bunch of gold silver pack Roki auto. We hit our second Otani auto. We had one out of the store and then another one
Yeah.
here last night. I mean, Otani's popping. Titus hit the first card 101 of a rookie. Tomoyuki Sugano.
That was awesome.
Blacks and Independence Days and short prints galore. It's been wild. Look at this. You didn't see this. The Wade Boggs 101
Oh,
sketch.
that's sick.
With like an actual like super sick sketch yesterday.
Tampa Bay too.
Right. It's like that's
The
kind of
devil,
awesome.
a devil race sketch.
The Devil Rays sketch there. Yeah, no, it's been really. I think we've seen more Reverence patch autos.
Well, we saw
Out of
3 in the
series.
first. We saw 3 Reverence patch autos in the first 6-caser.
More out. I think it's more than we've seen out of any other flagship release before.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
So we are retooling the 6-caser.
We did already.
Yeah.
Last
so
night, yep.
if you haven't seen that, we retooled the 6-caser, brought it down to 4, so that we could play with the price points a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we listen to feedback, guys. So we're constantly adjusting break formats, number of cases, all of these kinds of things based on the feedback that we hear from you guys in the market. So, you know, we think this 4-caser is going to be a good one going forward.
Nags ran that last night, had a pack ripper late at night, and was able to do it pretty quick, and it was pretty solid too. I mean, both hobby and jumbo have been good.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah, I'd say a successful Series 2 release.
It's been good.
Yeah.
It's been good.
It's cool. And now we get to look forward to, you know, some of the guys in there that have short prints. Like Cam Smith and Matt Shaw and Christian Campbell, while they don't have, anything besides that base short print, which are tough to find. They're going to sell really well. I've seen some eBay auctions that look like they're doing really well.
Yep.
It'd be fun to start having this this round of guys coming into the next few products.
Yeah. So we're in the heat of the playoffs for two sports right now.
Who watched the finals game last night? Who watched that Stanley Cup game last night? That was wild.
My big question is, I think just in like the last week, Wayne Gretzky came out and like basically said Connor McDavid's establishing himself as one of the greatest of all time.
100%. Yep.
Does not scoring a goal in the finals change? I mean, he's due, right? I mean,
he's super due to blow up.
Safe to say that he's due for a Stanley Cup, right?
Correct, especially after losing last year.
Right?
To the Panthers.
Yep. He's due for a Stanley Cup. Has he shown up in the finals?
You'd say no goals, but we pulled up his stats just before we went live. I mean, 6 assists in 4 games is kind of crazy. And you think of all it's similar to like a basketball where they're double teaming these guys, or they're putting so much pressure on McDavid, and he's a good enough player that he's still producing even without scoring. He's dishing it to Nugent Hopkins. He's dishing it to Draisaitl. He's assisted a few goals on I don't know. I think six assists in 4 games in the Stanley Cup kind of speaks for itself. Talk about Wayne Gretzky. Look at Wayne Gretzky's numbers. Sure, he had all those goals, but he had almost the same amount of assists.
I mean, we had that conversation when Ovechkin broke the goals record.
Yeah.
Right? And we looked at Ovechkin's goals record, and then we looked at how many assists.
It's ridiculous.
That Ovechkin had compared to Gretzky.
Mm-hmm.
And Ovechkin would have to play another entire career.
20-year career.
another entire 20-year career to even get close to what Gretzky did in assists.
Yep.
So you're saying assists is a part of GOAT status.
100%. Yeah, because he's making all the dudes around him better. When he's on the ice, they are liable to score, and it's not just that's the beauty. He's not just a goal scorer.
So how long until Bedard is good enough to make all of the other guys on the ice better around him?
Well, I'd say part of the problem is he's dealing with a way lesser caliber of team. He doesn't have a Leon Draisaitl. He doesn't have these dudes that
make him better.
He's gonna have to make.
Gonna be good. Make your teammates better.
He's gonna need divine intervention from the Pope to make that team better. The Pope is praying for the Blackhawks right now. That's
but
for sure.
all jokes aside, Cup came out.
Yeah, last week.
And his stuff's selling like crazy.
It's ridiculous.
Bedard's stuff is selling so bonkers. I
Yeah.
mean, it feels like there was so much hype on Bedard going into 23-24 hockey products.
Yep.
And it was nuts. His stuff selling like ridiculously.
Yes. Young guys going for $1,000 raw.
But it really kind of fizzled out.
Yeah.
Towards the second half of the year.
Right.
And we saw Bedard's stuff all kind of just settle out.
Yep.
Like all the products prices, all the 23-24 Upper Deck hockey boxes kind of settled out.
And his stuff was still selling well, but not the nuclear craziness that we saw at the first few products of the year.
But now we're seeing nuclear craziness on Cup Bedard.
With his Cup prices, you would have thought he had a 100-goal season.
What does that tell you about the market and collectors' view of Bedard right now?
With what his stuff is selling for, it tells me that people think that the high-end hockey collectors still think he has enough upside to be a Connor McDavid, to be one of these top guys in the league.
Do you think he was inundated with too much stuff?
I think that's part of it. I think it's a little bit partially of too much stuff all coming out, him not playing. You have these more value-based collectors products coming out that probably the higher end guys aren't necessarily chasing as much, despite his stuff still selling well. And then that's in the middle of the season where he's not performing like he was supposed to. The Blackhawks are the worst team in the NHL, so it's just like people are just kind of holding back. But then you get, I mean, his SP Authentic stuff still sells like crazy, and then you get this other high-end product coming out where, you know, you need to get in now because you might miss out.
I mean, I know we talk a lot about new releases, you know, on our Friday mornings.
Yeah.
But you mentioned SP Authentic.
Right.
And you and I were having a conversation about how SP Authentic might be the best rip in hockey right now.
Yeah, with what it's settled down to price-wise, retail price-wise.
Because it's what, around
$229.
250, 229,
Yeah,
even,
like
lower,
$249,
even lower than 250.
Yeah,
so,
something like that.
So we got SP Authentic settling, because it was 400 or 500.
Started out that, yeah.
400 or 500 out of the gates when the Bedard hype was in its prime, right? But the Future Watch autos are still selling great, and it's actually, from how these Future Watch autos are selling, a really deep class.
It's so deep. That's why I feel people, like, we've talked a little bit. I've talked to a couple guys about how, like, the comparison between 24-25 class and 23-24 class, and obviously Bedard is carrying the True Cup RPAs, and even his, limited logo selling for $5K, and other patch autos selling for $2, $3, $4, $5K and higher. Like, that's definitely a big driver of why the cup is going up. But you've got 5 other dudes that are selling really, really well too, and are legit players in the league. You got a Matthew Nyes, who's a Minnesota Gopher, who's going to get paid this offseason by the Maple Leafs. His stuff's selling great. You got Logan Cooley, who has produced pretty well for, the Utah team, and his stuff's selling great. You got Leo Carlson with the Ducks, another weaker team, but has shown flashes of greatness. His stuff's selling great. You go down the list. Brock Faber, with the Wild, his stuff's selling great. And it is really deep of these. All these dudes are young, like super. That's the thing about hockey. Like, you talk about Bedard being, 18, 19, whatever. All these other guys are early 20s, like, that are so young and are already producing at high levels.
Yeah, I mean, we don't see
it's different
that as often in baseball, right?
Not at all. No. How was Soto the last 18-year-old to come in and actually, like,
I think he was 19.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we don't see that very often.
It does not happen very often. But hockey, it feels like it just keeps getting younger and younger. And you look at the 24-25 class. You got Macklin, who's coming in at 19 years old and lighting it up, and his stuff is selling great. Like, we're gonna see Macklin stuff compete with Bedard stuff in SP Authentic as Future Watch autos, and the Cup next year is going to be great because of that. And the same thing, they've got another nice supporting class of guys like Lane Hudson, who's quickly establishing himself as one of the best defensemen in the league, like sort of a Cale Makar-esque type player that can score as well as defenseman. You've got Matvei Mishkov, the Russian, who's performing really well. You've got another slate of guys. I mean, it's wild the amount of young talent that NHL is bringing in.
It makes a big difference, right? Because we've seen products where they're just completely dependent on, or whole years of products that are completely dependent on one player.
Right.
And it really changes how well you can do as a collector in a product, right?
100%.
We saw that really extremely with Wemby, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Where Wemby in basketball was like light years higher than any other rookie in that class. I mean, Brandon Miller maybe is number 2.
Yeah.
At this point, Scoot's maybe in that conversation, but Wemby's so far.
It's like 10, 20x.
But the problem is when that happens, that player moves the needle on pricing of boxes so far, but it is all or nothing as a collector when you're ripping that, right? It's Wemby or bust, because there's nothing else that you feel like you can hit that can help you pay for this, like, inflated box price.
Correct.
Right? It's different when you're lots of rookies deep.
Yep.
So, like, the 23-24 hockey class, or the 24-25 hockey class, or, like, in my opinion, the Topps football class, the 2024 Topps football class.
Yep. When you've got
four big QBs and they're hittable,
and 2 big wide receivers and a big tight end,
right? And they're hittable.
Yep.
Right. And and the boxes are affordable, right? So you have these, like, like non-licensed football boxes that are affordable because they're non-licensed, but you can hit the big guys.
Yeah.
Like the collector return on that
better.
stuff is just way better.
Yep.
Right?
100%.
So, it'll be interesting to see how this takes shape. It's a little different. I mean, the contrast, another new release this week, Topps Chrome Basketball.
Yep.
The contrast between Topps Chrome Basketball last year and Topps Chrome Basketball this year,
Yep.
it's not even the same product.
No, it's completely
Like,
different.
Topps Chrome Basketball, 23-24 Topps Chrome Basketball was super tough from a collector standpoint.
What did it come out at?
Because it was like $600 a
$600
box.
or something like that.
It was like $600 a box.
Yeah.
Because of Wemby.
Yep.
And sure, Wemby autos were like one a case, and they were selling for $1,000, $2,000. Yeah, but most collectors aren't ripping by the case.
Right, exactly.
Most collectors are buying by the box, and the reality is you spend $700 on a box, and your only chance of a card that's worth $5 is Wemby. And it's tough.
Yeah.
It's a bloodbath. You compare that to this year's product.
Yep.
There's clearly no Wemby.
Correct.
Right? I mean, no one's debating or arguing that this rookie class is amazing or phenomenal or anything like that. Like, Castle is the top rookie.
Yep.
With a handful of other guys.
A handful of, I'd say it's deeper.
Decent class.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some players in this class
Yep.
that could emerge, right? But now you're sub $150 box.
Yeah, $159 or something like that.
There's a lot of cool stuff you can hit, and hockey fans know this.
Yeah.
Like, look, because a lot of hockey boxes are $150.
Yep.
Like, you don't have to hit it in that $1,000 card.
No,
anymore.
and there's enough big other names in there too. I mean, there's the rookies that haven't had autos in any other products. You've got the Castle, you got I think it's like Ricochet, Star. You've got some guys that have had autos in other products, and the Grizzlies and like Edie and I'm blanking on his name, the other Grizzlies rookie. But there's a lot of guys, and then you've got Shaq autos, and you've got Tyrese Halliburton autos, and you've got Donovan Mitchell autos, but like all that stuff is
and Sean Kemp and
Sean Kemp and Carmelo, and Dirk and
Clyde Drexler and
Larry Bird.
And here's the thing: those vet autos were always a bummer to hit in Panini.
Correct.
Because you're buying an $800 box.
Yeah.
And hitting a $50 vet auto.
Yeah, it's like, Sean Kemp auto's cool, but
man, I just spent $800 to chase these big time rookies, and I got a Sean Kemp auto.
Yeah.
Like, the experience of hitting that vet auto was so poor.
Correct.
In a high priced Panini product.
Correct.
But now, I mean, it's a completely different experience hitting a Sean Kemp auto in a $129 Topps Chrome basketball box.
Yeah, it's way different.
Right?
Yep.
So you can chip away at a $150 box.
Correct.
Unlike what you could do with Wemby last year.
Yeah, a ton of color. Yeah.
I opened a ton of Topps Chrome basketball. It was fantastic. The collector in me can't resist $150 boxes with hits and low numbered stuff.
Yeah.
And the ability to hit supers and all of this kind of stuff for $150.
Because we know they didn't make an unlimited amount of it either.
Right.
Yep.
So I don't know. So that's my take on Topps Chrome basketball this year. Yeah. Kind of a fun rip.
I agree. I mean, that's a good segue. We talk about the Stanley Cup Final being one of the best ever, and this NBA Finals has been kind of crazy too.
Yeah, right.
It's been kind of crazy. I don't know. I have no idea. I didn't necessarily pick a winner going into it, but it's been another fun series to watch. And these Pacers just don't. They're just so pesky. They just won't go away.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't pick a winner, but going into the playoffs, the team that, as a Wolves fan, I was looking forward to playing the least was OKC.
Yeah, 100%.
And like I thought we had we had a chance there where the Nuggets almost took them out.
Yeah. It was
and
close.
To me, like, that was the pathway for the Wolves,
right.
was the Nuggets taking out OKC. OKC's so tough when you've got three guys that can put up 30 points.
Yep.
Like
Every single game.
That's so hard to beat.
Yep.
Because it's not just about suppressing the one guy who could get hot.
Because they can beat you so many different ways. They can drive with Shea and beat you, or Shea can shoot, or he can throw it out to whoever, and J-Dub and Chet and all these guys that just produce. But the Pacers have responded well when you have guys like Benedict Mathurin going off on it, and he was a guy his rookie year that was probably the number 2. I think he was 2022, 23 behind Paolo. It was Paolo and then Benedict Mathurin because he performed so well, but then was flat.
Just went to zero.
Basically, yeah. You didn't hear anything about him at all, and now his stuff obviously inflated again because he's been performing well throughout the postseason, but you haven't really heard much of him. Then he explodes in the finals like this.
To be fair, it doesn't feel like you really have heard much about the Pacers at all.
I'd agree with that.
They just have not been a radar team until this year, in my opinion.
I agree.
And the truth is they've won a lot of games from behind at the very end.
Mm-hmm.
They're outplaying their position.
They've been doing it
in
all,
the whole
playoffs.
The entire playoffs.
Yeah, the amount of game winners that Tyrese has hit once a series and just stealing a game, and that's how you win a championship. You just steal these games every so often.
And that's in such contrast to our own perspective of Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
Where here you have the Pacers grinding and stealing games that they arguably shouldn't have won.
Yeah.
And then it felt like we had, Anthony Edwards over here, not showing up to some of these games.
You got to rely on Rudy to score.
And it's come on.
You got to rely on Julius Randle, and Julius Randle just chucking up threes.
It feels like whether he's putting up big points or not, Halliburton is showing up.
Every single game, it seems.
Every game.
Yeah.
And it felt like Ant shows up when he wants to show up.
Yeah.
So,
but
that's the difference between being in the finals and being out.
I know, so it sounds like you're saying they got to get rid of Ant.
And it's it feels like Ant needed some kind of big vet star to play under for 2 years.
Yeah, he had Cat. He played under Cat.
Great.
he learned the best.
Great demeanor. Great demeanor to learn from.
Yeah, I don't know what they end up doing.
But who knows?
Yeah.
All I know is I keep getting all of these fake Timberwolves posts in my algorithm and in Facebook, and it's so traded for John Morant.
Yeah,
or
we're
it's
being
oh my
honest.
gosh, give me a break.
Oh no, it's gonna be fun. There's a lot of big moves to be made in both NHL, I guess all these off seasons this year, NBA, and Giannis on the move potentially, and NHL is gonna have some big signings with some guys that are gonna impact some things. I feel like off seasons lately have been the NFL too, the amount of moves and the amount of big money that these guys are getting. It just seems like maybe I've just been paying attention to it more. It just feels like there's just so many more teams that are trying to go all in or change things up constantly.
Yeah.
Lately.
Yeah. But give the Pacers credit, they've moved the needle for the hobby.
100%.
For the Pacers hobby.
Yeah.
The truth is I'm back there ripping some Topps Chrome, and I hit a Halliburton auto, and 4 months ago I'd have been
yeah, decent.
Oh,
Solid,
fine,
whatever.
it's fine. He's a good player. But now it's oh, that's a nice hit.
Right.
That's actually kind of
It's
nice.
actually turned into a legit chase.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Dane said, let's talk about the complete flip of the Pacers money-wise.
Yeah.
Buy cheap before they win it all. And
I was more than
everything's up.
happy to hit a Halliburton auto in a $150 Topps Chrome basketball box.
100%.
Yeah. So, it makes it super cheap for breaks.
Yep.
The teams are dirt cheap for Topps Chrome, but it also is really compelling as a personal rip. When you got a $150 box, you can go pop a case.
Yeah.
It's it's not a $6,000 case anymore.
Yeah, it's different.
So many of these basketball products have been, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm digging it.
Yeah.
I'm digging Topps Chrome basketball. You're gonna have to keep me from opening more.
I know, we've got more in the back. It's been good. And what else has come out? So we had Series 2 been great. The Cup's been great. We had, obviously, Topps Chrome basketball. This week we also had
In hockey, in ice.
ice hockey, 24-25 class. And ice is always a cool one with the exquisite chases. And I haven't seen much of it rip, but Titus is like, man, this is actually a really solid product where you're hitting a couple exquisites and a few exquisite autos in a 12-box case. And that's always been the cool thing about ice as well. It's not a high-end product for a high-end price. It has high-end chases.
Yep.
Which is always really nice. So when you're popping those exquisite autos, that's good. And then next week we've got a pretty loaded week, actually.
Oh, but you skipped over one for this week. Contenders football.
Oh, yeah, we need to talk about Contenders football, actually. Because I think it might be one of the best Panini football rips of the year.
Okay.
At the current price.
All right, hot take.
I don't know. At the current, when you're looking at a $250 box, which had the other big quarterback autos in it, would be $600 easy. I mean, this is the cheapest the Contenders has been in a long time. I mean, it got a little bit cheap last year as well, but started off higher. But you've actually got big quarterback autos to chase. Like, if you're a Vikings fan, rip Contenders all
I mean,
day
it's
long.
a no-brainer in our store. In our store at $250 for Vikings fans, like, they would be chasing J.J. McCarthy anyways, even if the other four guys were in it.
Correct.
But now they get to chase J.J. in the store for $250
Yep.
instead of chasing him for $600 because of the other quarterbacks.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, the real doctor asked why is the Falcons cost high? Is it Penix heavy? It is because you've got the two. Contenders has always been the rookie auto chase. You look at how big some of these guys, like the Burrows and the Herberts and all these big quarterbacks. Like the Contenders auto is the one shy of like the NT stuff and all.
And it has been forever. I mean, you think about the biggest Brady cards.
It's Contenders auto.
Contenders auto.
Yeah.
Like Contenders auto has that pedigree.
Correct.
And still has that pedigree.
Yep. So you look at the pricing breakdown of Contenders football this year, and you've got the two big rookie quarterback autos, which Penix and JJ are going to. They're the ones carrying the bulk of the potential for resale in that product.
There's another quarterback in there that might start this year.
I think the Saints are the steal of the break. To be fair,
they might start. I mean. You're also off season right now, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Rattler cards as you get closer to the season starting. If he gets the nod in the QB1.
Yeah. But even you look at whatever base autos are doing. But the thing with Contenders, you've got the out of 99 autos, you've got the cracked ice autos, you've got the out of 50 autos, you've got the 1-on-1. Like these are big chases in the football, secondary market.
You don't have to hit a big QB. Like, it's kind of like Bowman, right? Where you don't have to hit the biggest prospect, but if you hit a gold auto, you did well.
Yeah.
You just crushed.
Exactly.
Of almost any player, right? And that, to an extent, applies to, like, cracked ice.
100%.
In Contenders.
Yep.
Like, if you hit cracked ice, it, like, almost doesn't matter who the player is because that's a highly desirable card for these rookies.
Correct. The other thing to keep in mind with Contenders, which I feel like has been a little bit forgotten over the past few years, is they have the short print autos of some of these guys that, you look at a box, it's like, it's easy to say, oh, I've never heard of these four guys, and you've got the on-card auto of a solid rookie, but you can't discredit some of these other autos because of how they do the short prints. And we've seen in past years where some of these guys that aren't really much hobby-wise end up selling great because they end up being announced as one of the short print autos, and then they sell for a ton. Yeah. And there's a lot of guys that are out there chasing the short print autos and buying up all these guys right now for cheap.
Right.
Because once they announce them as short prints, then they shoot up like crazy.
Yeah.
So that's the other interesting thing with Contenders schema. And they've made the product better. They've added more parallels. They made the base not just a, random paper base stock. It all, like, every single one of the base cards has like that mojo look on it that looks really cool. Yep. And then adding the inserts and short print chases, which have done well. The license
more numbered stuff.
100%. Yeah. So that's why I think Contenders is, especially if you're a Vikings fan, like it's such a high end chase for not a high end price right now.
Yeah, it's interesting because some of these lend themselves really, really well to breaks. Some of these lend themselves really, really well to personals.
Right.
And like I'd be ripping Contenders boxes and Top Scrum basketball boxes all day,
Yeah.
especially in personals.
100%.
Yeah.
You gonna be ripping Inception next week? That's historically one of your favorite products, isn't it? I think it was for a bit, then you kind of came off it a bit.
It was early because they did really, really well with patches.
Mm-hmm.
Then they got really, really napkin-y.
Yeah.
And then they really brought back patches
Last
hard.
year was wild.
And so
was wild.
now that it's patches again, yes. Like for the past, not counting last year, the previous 3 or 4 years before that, I kind of was like, oh man, really? Like this should be a patch product. But now, patches, yes.
Yeah.
Love Inception from a patch perspective.
Well, talk about all the game use stuff that they're doing in Series 2. Like, Inception's going to have a lot of the same, and it's going to have bigger chases with the milestone bases relics, like the first hit that the dude has, and you've got the base from that game. Like, all those are pretty epic to see.
Yeah.
And we're chasing this 24 class again, which, from what I've been told, is a decent class.
It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird to be in June
chasing
with
2024
rookie class.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of a little refreshing to like chase a different rookie class.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree.
You know, we've been going after the 2025 rookie class here for 4 months?
Yep.
Since February when
was
Series 1 comes out. And so it's actually kind of fun to be like, oh, okay.
Here's a new product with 24 rookie chases.
Paul Skeens rookies again.
Yeah. Yep, Paul Skeens and Beaker Armstrong and Jackson Churio and
Jackson Inception's going to be a completely different landscape than what we've been ripping.
Yeah.
Right? This product's probably going to go bonkers in the secondary market.
Yeah, it's probably going to be one of those get in early or you're going to miss out because prices are going to go up type of products.
Correct. It is. I mean, I probably won't be ripping it just because I don't think we have enough of it.
I agree.
Like, a lot of what dictates whether I open something is whether I feel like we have enough for breaks.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So we probably don't have enough of it for me to have my fun with the release.
Yeah.
But I think it is going to be one that really goes up as it starts to dry up.
Yeah,
so it's going to be a jump into personals and breaks early.
Correct.
On Inception.
100%.
Because for a Wednesday release, by Saturday, the prices are going to be higher.
I gotta think so.
Yeah.
Yep. What else do we have next week? Talk about one that you need to get in because we have literally zero of.
We have almost no Marvel Comics Chrome tops. So it's 2025 tops Chrome Marvel Comics.
Yep.
We've got almost zero. So if you want that product, you have to be ready for the drop right out of the gates. It will probably, so when that releases,
that's a Monday release.
Monday.
Yeah.
So super, super weird timing. You're not used to having Monday releases. It's a Monday release. We will probably be out of it Monday.
We will 100% be out of it Monday.
It will not last beyond Monday.
Yep.
So if that's something you're anticipating, don't miss it Monday because it'll be here and gone like that.
Correct. And it looks like we talk about some big chases. The first year tops Marvel Chrome and Super Fractors and Reds of Wolverine and Spider-Man. Like, I'm actually really excited for that product. I think it's going to be sweet.
Yep.
What else next week? As we look at our release schedule, we got Contenders Optic. So going back-to-back weeks with Contenders and Contenders Optic. That's going to be strong for the same reason Contenders is. Donruss Baseball. Donruss Baseball has been an interesting one. The past, so I think it was last year that they switched to more prospect and legend type stuff because they lost the player association license. Yeah. But Donruss last year dried up and shot up in price like crazy. Yeah. And I don't think it was necessarily just because of the Skeens rookie stuff. I think it was just a good product that they didn't make. They're not making as much of this stuff as they had in past years.
Right.
And was really, really strong. Again, when you get a sub $150 box of $99, whatever it's going to be, that you can hit 4 autos or whatever out of, and a whole bunch of color and parallels. Like, right. I think that's why Donruss has been really, really strong last year for the price. I'm talking about a collector box to rip. And you can hit all the biggest prospects, plus some rookies, plus a whole bunch of legends.
Yep.
Donner's been cool.
Yep. And then select basketball and Parker's Champions Hockey.
Yeah.
Next week.
So we got a lot going on next week, and we're not going to be here.
We're not even going to be here. So we are taking off for Fanatics Fest and the start of the 2025 Real Sports Cards road trip.
Yep.
So Emil is heading out Tuesday.
Yep. Starting
in
the
van,
drive.
heading out to New York Tuesday in the van to kick off our summer road trip.
Yep.
We're going to be at Fanatics Fest to start Friday, Saturday, and Sunday next week.
Yep.
Set up like if you didn't see the Fanatics Fest stuff last year, really cool event. Not a traditional card show.
Not at all. Yeah.
Not a traditional local card show or regional card show. Not like the national. Very, very different. They've got vendors there that'll be selling singles and stuff like that. But it is not the national. Fanatics brings in all of the license holder, like all of the big leagues.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys set up really cool experiences. So Major League Baseball will be there, WWE will be there, NFL, NBA, FIFA, like all of these.
Yep.
You got Nike will be there, Lego I think will be there,
Yeah.
Netflix will be there. Like it's more than a card show.
Correct.
It's a sports experience.
Yep.
And so we're setting up at the show. We're not selling any singles. We're going to be setting up at the show to promote our app. Promote the Real Sports Cards app. See if we can bring some new friends into the community to hang out with us. And so we're going to be having fun there.
Yeah.
We got a fun new game we're rolling out.
Yeah, I'm excited for the new game.
We went out and built a custom Real Sports Cards 6-foot Plinko.
It looks awesome.
It looks sick.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be Plinkoing for break credit at
Yep.
Fanatics Fest. And then we're also doing a collector pod.
Yep.
A collector podcast where we're going to be interviewing collectors on a number of questions about the hobby. And so if you are in New York, make sure you go to Fanatics Fest at least one day. Come see us. Come participate in the Collectors Podcast. Let's get you in on some of the collector content that we're going to be doing there.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you already have the app, you can Plinko for credit.
Correct.
So make sure you come Plinko for some break credit, even if you already have the app.
So we've got our schedule for a lot of virtual stops on the summer road trip. Why don't you tell these guys what they can look forward to a little bit more with the road trip? Because there's going to be a lot, even if you're not going to be in Fanatics Fest or you're not going to be at the National in Chicago. Every single day from next week all the way into August, September, we're going to be having some fun on the app.
Yeah, so we've broken this road trip into, like, is it 11 or 12 legs?
Yeah, 11
1 week long legs. And for each one of these legs, you can accumulate points in a number of different ways. So if you participated in collector's games last year, it's a similar concept, but we tweaked it a little bit so that it would be more competitive to more people.
Yep.
So we did week-long legs, so you can earn points for making it into the money mitt.
Yep.
But you can also earn points. You don't have to hit good cards to win points.
Yeah, so last year was gold,
Last
silver,
year
bronze.
it was gold, silver, bronze. The top 3 cards in the break got points.
Yep.
We did away with that. So we're still doing points for the money mitt hit, the top hit. But now, just about anyone, truly anyone, can get points.
Yep.
Because we made the number 2 and the number 3 point spots based on the serial number of the cards pulled. So the lowest serial number card gets points, and the highest serial number card gets points.
Yep.
So it's not
it's not just hit base.
it's not just hit base or who hits the best cards anymore. Like literally, you could buy a $5 discounted team and get the highest, or you could get a card numbered 1 out of 499 and
earn points.
And earn points
Yep.
for the lowest serial number card.
Yep, and this is going to be every single break throughout the duration of the road trip, so throughout the next handful of months.
Yep, and it's a week-long contest, not a full promotion-long contest, so it's also not about how much you spend or anything like that. We wanted to make each leg winnable by just about everybody.
Yep.
And then there is going to be a daily component as well. There's a daily no purchase necessary giveaway every day that can win prizes and points.
Yep.
So on this journey, I think you've seen probably the list of the leg cities that we're going to, the 11 leg cities. Those are kind of like the anchor cities, if you will. But we're hitting a different city every day. And every day we're going to have a prize that is related to that particular city that we're hitting.
Yep.
So we're going to have a lot of fun with that. So every day you're going to need to be in the app waiting for this prize drop so that you can get in for a chance to win the prize and some points.
Yep, and we'll probably get the first leg of giveaways teased up here today so you guys can see what's coming up. And then starting next week will be with the breaks, earning points there. And again, so it's weekly legs with winners every week for the prizes that leg. And then there is a component to the overall winner for the total road trip as well.
Yeah, we still did an overall prize, first, second, third prize
Yep.
On this, but it's really focused on daily prizes and weekly prizes.
Yep. So long story short, tons of giveaways every single day, break credit given out every single week, and we're gonna be having fun.
And those giveaways are no purchase necessary, but they are limited number of spots.
Correct.
So you do have to get there to get into the giveaway.
Yep, 100%.
So, and then we're gonna have some fun meetups along the way. So our first meetup is gonna be in Fanatics Fest.
Yep.
Is it Friday night?
I think it's Friday night. Yep.
In Fanatics Fest in New York City, Friday night. We reserved some hitting bays at 5 Iron.
Yep.
To hit some golf balls, have some cocktails. So if you, there will be more details of that coming out. So if you are in New York or the New York area, and whether or not you are even going to Fanatics Fest, we want you to come hang out with us at 5 Iron on Friday night. And we'll be rolling out details, but feel free, if that's something that you're interested in, feel free to reach out to us directly.
Correct.
To make sure you lock down details for that event.
Yep.
And then we're looking at some other fun events around the country to do as well.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, it's kicking off. Summer's in full fledged here.
Summertime.
Exactly.
So, at this point, we've got 5 minutes left. Happy to open it up to some questions. If you have any questions, we're always an open book. Try to be really transparent about our business, the industry, you name it. So if you have any of those kind of questions, feel free to go ahead and throw that at us. This Friday, we still have a different event. We're in a parade, or that's
tonight.
This Friday. I say this Friday. It's today. We have a parade for the Father Hennepin days.
Yeah, we're hoping I've been keeping an eye on the weather.
If the rain can hold off. So
it looked like it was just going to be raining this morning.
Yeah, we're hoping we're hoping that the rain chills out today, and that we can get our parade in. We're gonna be handing out Pokemon packs.
Yeah, yep, that'll be fun. That's so we've been doing that for a few years now, walking in the parade. That's always been a fun one. It's a big parade. There's tons of people that are gonna be hanging out. So hopefully the rain holds off.
Crosscheck says, when Emil moves out, who will cry more? For those of you who don't know, Emil has been living above my garage for 5 years, and finally got evicted.
I wouldn't say evicted.
For sure evicted.
No, I think it was a.
I think it has to go on your credit report.
Do evictions go on credit reports?
I don't know. They should.
That's crazy, actually. No, it was a voluntary leave.
voluntary leave. Yeah. Emil went and got engaged and, is now going to be living in sin.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
That is terrible. That's terrible.
It's Friday the 13th today.
We're all friends here.
I didn't realize it's Friday the 13th. Yeah, Al, actually what happened was I just saw all my stuff just on the side of the driveway. I just had to get it all.
Now I get all of my stuff back.
No, I took all that stuff.
All of my nickname baseballs have been on the wall of his apartment.
I've been living in the space for 5 years.
There's no such thing as like common law squatters' rights.
I'm pretty sure I can just stay there forever. In Minnesota,
you probably could have just said you weren't gonna leave, and knowing our government,
I could have just stayed.
They would just you can't make him leave.
Yeah.
He's he has squatters' rights.
I think that's a real thing. Maybe I should have just stayed. Oh, what else? What do we have for questions? I didn't see any other questions throughout. I did see someone mention the Bowman Progressive Bounty, though.
Oh, my goodness.
It is getting up there right now. Oh, my goodness.
Hit the Bowman Bounty already.
I tried to hit it last Saturday. We went all night with Bowman. What's it up to this afternoon? I want to see. I did not hear anything about Nags hitting it last night. So Jay's got a jumbo half case.
Holy moly.
4,350. It's getting into we're due territory. I think it's way past we're due territory.
Woo. That's a big daddy.
We've got we're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do. We've got some sapphires showing up here. Hopefully today.
Bowman Sapphire? Ooh.
So we'll have to try to work that in.
I'm not allowed to open that for myself.
That's
probably.
another one we didn't get enough of. Another one we didn't get enough of.
Probably see some mixers with that one. That one's.
Yeah, for sure. We'll figure something out for tomorrow. I'm not sure exactly how we'll do it, but we'll get some sapper. We had a couple individual boxes that we had gotten from, I don't know if it was Montgomery Club or what it was, that we did in mixers. So we'll work in some more sapphire through the weekend and
also tomorrow. I think you were planning on using our last 6-box case of the cup.
Yeah, we didn't even mention that we were talking about the cup.
For a PYT, right?
Full case PYT.
Full case PYT, our last 6-box case.
Yep.
That we have. So if you're a cup person, last chance to chase in a 6-box case.
Yep.
So
I'm excited for
a
that.
little bit of fun this weekend.
I'm gonna have some fun tomorrow night. That's for sure. Those Saturday nights we'll be having fun for sure.
What else you guys have?
DJ says, how often do you see Emil just swing on the swing set?
I mean,
I'm disappointed.
The trampoline really was more like, he really, the swing set, every once in a while I'd hear wee, but most of the time it was the trampoline.
That's how my legs are still so strong.
From trampoline.
I'm just getting my leg workouts.
Is that why the basketball hoop out there is broken in the trampoline?
Yep.
Too much anal dunks?
Yeah, I can't dunk on a regular hoop, so I need to use the trampoline to make myself feel good.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be fun. I'm excited for next week. I've got a long drive coming up. My goodness. It's going to be a hike.
What is this, like a 20-hour drive?
Yeah, hopefully we don't have any tire issues. We had to get a
flat tire in the van this week.
Emergency flat tire fix.
It was concerning with having to be in the parade today and then driving to New York next week.
Yep.
The flat tire in the van was not ideal.
Shout out to Discount Tire for the free flat tire repair.
Discount Tire, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota.
we didn't have to pay for that's a crazy free service.
Yeah, they do actually. Free service at Discount Tire for repairs.
Yeah, even if you didn't buy the tire there.
Yeah, you didn't even have to buy the tire there. They will plug your tire for free.
Yep.
If it's fixable, they'll plug it for free.
Yep.
Bingo.
There's our payment. We got the shout out. We're gonna do a little ad for Discount Tire here.
Yeah. Al said 23 and a half hours for the drive from Minneapolis to New York. However, he is driving a 4-cylinder transit van, so top speed 45 miles per hour. He might be crawling. That might be a 30-hour drive.
No, I can get that thing cooking. I'm excited. I'm excited to split.
You just wait till he gets downhill.
No, this only actually says 19 hours. from here to Javits Center. That's actually less than I thought. It'd be good. I'll be able to split that drive up. The drive actually goes almost straight through Warren, Ohio.
Where your grandparents live.
Yeah, they're a little north of Warren, so I'll take a 20-minute detour up there. Get to see some family both on the way there and the way
So
back.
I don't even have to pay him because it's a personal trip.
No, actually, my grandma said that the hotel stay per night cost is I'm gonna need a per diem. I'm gonna need a overnight stay pay.
This is unpaid vacation time.
For the whole week.
Unpaid vacation. Yeah.
Whatever.
I don't know. Oh, it's debatable. Or are you gonna bring your fuzzbuster? Al says.
I've actually never heard that term before.
You've never heard the term fuzzbuster?
Oh, for a radar?
Yeah.
I've not heard that.
Yeah. You have to pull it out of the.
I'll pull it out of the car.
Put it in the van.
That should be really funny to have in the van. It's not a bad idea. I got to be careful going through Wisconsin. Those Wisconsin cops love pulling over Minnesota plates.
Ohio State troopers.
Oh, you can't. You actually can't speed in Ohio.
Man, Ohio. I mean,
they got people posted up at every single bridge and on the whole interstate.
And airplanes.
Yeah, they got the airplane reporting too.
State trooper airplanes doing speed tests. I got a ticket from an airplane in Ohio.
Really?
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I can't get a ticket in the transit van.
They use the painted marks on the side because they can't radar you from the plane. They use the painted marks on the side of the highway to time
how fast
in
between intervals?
In between marks to get your speed.
That's crazy. I never knew that. I thought they just radar gun you from the plane.
Nope. They use the marks. They've got you on camera, and they use the marks to time you to see how fast you're going, and then they are always radio down. They still have to pull you over. And give you the ticket. So then they'll have the plane going, and then they'll have 6 cars, a few exits up on the ramp. And so you'll roll by, and there'll be 3 squad cars up on the ramp, and you're like, oh, they're getting people with the plane.
So technically, if I get caught by the plane, the van's not in my name, the company's not in my name. I think that ticket passes on through to you.
You probably should just flee.
That's what I should do. Yeah, they'll have no way to know it's me. Real sports cars, transit van, and high speed pursuit. Once I cross state borders, I'm fine though, right? I just got to get to Pennsylvania fast.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Just get to Pennsylvania and you're good.
I will not be planning on getting in any high speed chases and having the van impounded.
We just got done talking about how your 4-cylinder van's not going to be able to make it up all of the hills, and now you're talking about outrunning an airplane.
That Sprinter goes fast.
It is. It's legit.
Got that German Mercedes engine in it.
Yeah.
That Audi engine, it just flies.
No, Mercedes is not the same as Audi.
No, it's not.
Audi's a Volkswagen.
And Mercedes.
Don't start.
All right.
Don't start.
German made regardless.
That brings us. Wait, just for the video record, I do not condone high-speed chases or trying to outrun the police. Just for YouTube.
I'll be going the speed limit the entire trip.
Yep. Unless you're driving through Mexico.
I won't be doing that.
Awesome. That brings us to our time. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out. As always, brakes are popping now. So grab a spot and something, and we will see you next week.
Thanks, guys. We won't see him next week.
Oh.
Unless we do a little live from.
We'll go live from.
I say we won't be here.
Maybe we'll go live from Fanatics Fest.
What are we gonna do without the doorstop, though? I don't know if we can go live without. Can you unscrew that thing? Sounds good. See you guys later.